A spacecraft flew into the unknown starfield, and the next second a sharp alarm came from the cabin, only to see a large amount of debris mixed with hail smashing towards the ship in an overwhelming manner. Although the shield managed to block some of the impact, the unprotected equipment was still severely damaged. Fortunately, after a few moments, a ship broke through the meteor cluster, and the crew immediately assessed the extent of the damage, and found the ship damaged severely in many places, and most of the equipment could be repaired through 3D printing technology, but many wires still needed to be fixed manually in order to get in touch with Earth as soon as possible. The 3 crew members immediately put on spacesuits and exited the cabin. After a period of intense climbing, they managed to reach the vicinity of the robotic arm, and immediately took apart the equipment for repairs. Luckily, the wiring was simply loose. The repair process was quite smooth. However, just when the 3 intended to return, they found a denser meteor cluster approaching. Panicked, they rushed to find shelter. At this time, the woman's buckle was pinned by the mechanical arm. A large number of meteors were getting closer and closer. In the moment of crisis, the woman struggled to lift the mechanical arm, successfully broke free from it. The next second, meteors rained down on the spaceship. The rear shield instantly shattered into countless fragments that drifted into space. At this moment, the time to dodge felt particularly long. Luckily, the ship sailed out of the meteor belt. The crew at the same time sighed in relief that they were still alive. Fortunately, the radar was undamaged, and all equipment returned to normal operation. But when they were ready to leave, a few drops of blood suddenly drifted out of the woman's helmet. The teammates immediately came to check, and found the back of her spacesuit was punctured, and immediately pulled the woman back to the ship. At the same time, the teammates inside the cabin prepared medical kits in advance, but the pressurization took too long. By the time the door opened, it was already too late. Blood gushed out from the spacesuit. Looking at the blood floating around them, though unwilling to give up, it still couldn't change the woman's fate. After their sorrow, the astronauts continued to send signals to Earth, but received no response. What they didn't realize was that Earth was experiencing a devastating disaster, with the ecosystem collapsing severely, and human survival becoming precarious.